a marathon.
Oh,
Everyone running.
Thank you so much.
Throw it. You're like, don't worry, I'll clean it up.
Don't worry. Skull? Anybody skull?
That guy would have had a little bigger buffalo head. Dude, have you heard? I don't even think. I mean, I haven't seen him in months, so this could have changed. But I don't think he even has a bit about this yet. But Asif Ali, you guys know Asif, right?
Yes.
He's so funny, and he was just telling me, we were standing outside of this show in Manhattan Beach once, and he was telling me, he was like, "Yeah, man, I was talking to a buddy that I grew up near, and he was like, I'm gonna get the name wrong, but he was like, hey, did you see what happened with Kevin?" And Asif was like, "No, what happened with Kevin?" And Kevin was like his neighbor. He lived right down the street from him growing up, and his buddy was like, "Kevin is the QAnon shaman."
Oh my god! Holy shit!
Like, what?
We need to talk about Kevin.
We need to talk about Kevin. Absolutely.
And Asif was like, "He's vegan."
That's the thing. God, someone insert the gif of the mom in Home Alone just screaming, "Kevin!"
Yeah, I don't know, his name is Steve or something.
Yeah,
It's not.
yeah.
It's like some. Yeah,
Fucking asshole.
Oh no,
Yeah.
we got the QAnon shaman's name wrong.
Fuck, I know.
We're gonna get
Delete the
pissed.
whole
It's over for me.
Our
delete the-
listeners are gonna get furious.
Because what they love is facts.
We are a factual podcast first and foremost.
And the number one fact of this podcast is the true president right now is Donald Trump.
Facts. The true president. Could you imagine thinking? Because obviously, like blah blah blah. People are crazy. That's psychotic.
Yeah.
But also on top of being an absolute lunatic who believes horrible things are cool.
Yeah.
Aside from that, thinking that someone who had the like an election was stolen and then thinking they're the true president is really wild to me. Like if I walked around and was like, the true president in 2000 was Al Gore.
Yeah.
The true president.
Mr. President.
I'm
See him?
almost jealous of it in the way that I've never cared about something enough to like make that many mind obstacle jumps of like just keep making excuses for something and be like, no, actually it was this who lied about that, and you're like, fucking just let it go.
And it's also like those you don't want him to be president. You want him to be king. You
Yeah,
want a king.
Right.
Because I like them because they're like, he's the real president, and he'll also be the president in 2024. And they're like,
What are you talking about?
yeah. How many times can this guy who doesn't seem to really care about being the president be the president?
Yeah, totally. It's also like, man, he's got a diaper on.
Yeah.
My president wears a diaper.
I just my favorite thing about Donald Trump, other than everything, is I just liked his policies, like the way he ran the country.
And that, how he behaves towards other people.
Yeah, I do feel a kinship to him in that, you could see on his face that him running for president was a bit, and then he had to stick with the bit because it got too far, and now he's like, well, I guess this is just who I am now.
This is what I think happened with stand-up comedy and Jeremy Piven. Yeah.
Speaking of that, I got to show you guys a fucking really good ad I got the other day.
Okay.
If
you don't know, Jeremy Piven now does stand-up comedy.
In a way.
I mean, he gets booked more than I do.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, apparently a lot. I've never seen him do it, and I've never met him in my life.
Wears a funny hat on stage, probably.
Is that true?
I bet.
I saw a clip once, and it was really bad.
It's really,
yeah.
it's really awful. Also, sometimes when we're on the road, he'll be like at clubs
bigger
after us.
Yeah.
And it'll be like, oh, Jeremy, it'll be like Jeremy
Coming up
Piven
next
at the Improv in a couple weeks. But it was an ad for Hair Club for Men, or it's just called Hair Club now because they're more inclusive. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
But it was just, this was it. It was just Jeremy Piven smiling.
Looking good, buddy.
And it's just him in like a coat being like, hey, I have hair now. But it was literally like, Hair Club worked for Jeremy Piven and it could work for you. I was like, well, Jeremy Piven's done a lot different things in life than I have.
Yeah. He was in Judgment Night.
Yeah, he was in Judgment Night.
Oh, yeah, he was in
True.
Judgment Night.
He was balding then. That was 40 years ago.
Yeah.
Hair Club for Men. I had never really thought about how fucking awesome of a name for a thing that is.
Yeah.
I'm going to steal Mac's joke.
No, what?
If it's your first day at Hair Club, you have to get hair.
But dude, it's like it is so funny to be like Hair Club for Men, no chicks.
Yeah,
no
exactly.
chicks at the hair club.
Everything
bro.
about it's great. And
we don't know how to put in longer strands.
Yeah. But now it's just Hair Club.
Hair Club.
because
Hair club.
yeah,
That's also funny.
they're
dude.
inclusive.
Yeah, that's way funny.
I'm a member of the hair club. Yeah.
We go meet and talk about different
You have a secret,
shampoos and conditioners.
you have a secret handshake with a bunch of other guys whose hairlines are obviously pulled back really hard.
Every Monday I go to hair club. Tuesdays vegetables club. Wednesday shirt club. Car clubs on Thursday.
Yeah, Fridays for me.
Yeah, all weekend I go to KKK meetings.
But Friday's the Sabbath.
They call it White Club.
Yeah, I go to race club. We just talk about different races.
Yeah,
and-
White Sheet Club.
cool guy club. I go to cool guy club.
It's fun. We hang out.
Cool guy club is a better name for hair club, and it's the same thing.
Yeah.
Because that is the thing. Because both of them are equally repellent to me. If they're like, we're a club full of cool guys, I'm like, I'm getting to fucking as far away from there as possible.
And what days do you meet so I know to be on the other side of the city?
Yeah. What do I tell the women to hide when cool guy club is together?
Totally.
They have vests.
Dude, they're like the Guardian Angels.
They're like the Guardian Angels, but it's...
What are the Guardian Angels?
Oh,
all
so the
right,
Guardian
here we
Angels
go.
are like an old New York thing.
They're an institution, you could say.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they've been around since like the 70s,
I wanna say,
probably.
when New York was like really dangerous.
Yeah,
Okay.
so they were kind of like a citizens patrol to like keep the subways safe and keep the
Oh.
streets
You
safe.
still see them once in a while.
Yeah,
Okay.
they all
Curtis
wear Curtis Sliwa, who was like the Republican mayoral candidate against Eric Adams the last
just
election.
Now, like just now.
He started the Guardian Angels.
Oh.
70s.
Yeah, he's fully insane.
This is fascinating.
Full
Yeah, they all
retard
wear
idiot.
red, like windbreakers and berets,
Red Beret.
Oh, okay.
and they all just kind of like walk around. But now it's just like a bunch of like old fat guys and their weird sons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that's who it is now. They're not
New York
like
version of the Boy
'cause
Scouts.
kind of, yeah.
Instead of learning how to like tie knots, they learn how to jump over the turnstile the best way.
Well, no, they would.
They would pay.
Thank you. They would get mad at you for jumping over the turnstile.
They
They're trying
would
to.
never.
They're trying to.
Yeah.
I mean, listen. We can besmirch the Guardian Angels all they want, but get it right. But they like in the 70s. They like look. The pictures of them like they looked like vaguely tough
Yeah,
at
I'll show you.
least. They were like guys who were like,
Sure.
we're gonna, stop fucking trying to rob old ladies on the train and stuff. I don't know if because it's like you can't. They would do like citizens arrests and stuff because they're not like cops. They can't
Yeah.
actually do anything.
Right.
But they would just be like, well, we're here and we're wearing, fingerless leather gloves.
Oh wow, those guys look pretty tough.
Tough guys.
Yeah, man.
Absolutely, yeah. And then now look up Guardian Angels now because I saw them. They were all hanging out at like the Lunar New Year celebration in
Classic.
Chinatown, and it was all
course.
just like, just because that always gets really rowdy.
Yeah.
and now they just kind of look like,
Oh sure.
yeah,
They still look kind of cool.
there's yeah,
But look, man, just because they've let themselves go a little
Yeah,
bit.
we've all had a rough 30 years.
They quarantine, man.
I mean, I'm way heavier than I was 30 years ago.
me
too. So I'm like,
yeah, when I was 10, dude,
yeah.
I looked great.
Mm-hmm.
I was.
Abs and all.
I'm trying to think when I was.
had abs when I was 10.
I was like, when I was 10, did I look great? And then I was like, nah, nope.
That's
Yeah,
enough.
By the time I hit 11, I looked like shit.
Yeah,
Well, you earned it really at 11.
Yeah, dude.
You've seen it.
you did it.
Yeah, I got
You
in so
did-
many fights.
You already did a dime.
yeah,
You can let
exactly.
yourself go.
Yeah, totally. Well, I ratted out my boss.
There you go.
yeah.
You ratted out
mom?
like that to your mom.
Yeah, totally.
Dad's eating Snickers bars in the garage. I see them.
So sick.
Yeah,
Guardian Angels.
yeah. It really
It's
is
interesting. I forget, I was actually thinking walking here how funny it is that, New York, I mean, I'm just moving here, so I don't really have much context except for visiting.
Mhm.
But I do get the feeling that it is a sleepier town than it used to be in general.
Okay.
And maybe I'm wrong, but I don't know. I remember visiting and feeling like more places were open in a very basic sense, very
Yeah,
late,
yeah.
even in Manhattan.
Oh yeah.
And but then also, yeah, you hear all these stories about crime, and then also I grew up like an hour north of here, and it was during the Giuliani era, and my parents, who are extreme moderate Democrats, loved Giuliani at the time.
Can't blame
And then I would
Can't
go
blame
to
him.
punk shows, and everyone was like, "Fuck this dude," and because
Yeah.
he was apparently people loved him because he was cleaning up crime, but the way he was doing it was like being a psychopath. You know,
He was
apparently.
eating homeless people.
They're not a joke. There were buses of homeless people sent out of the city.
No, and they were sent to.
places.
So I grew up in Orange County, New York, and our biggest city is Newburgh.
Yeah.
And one of the biggest ones was he dropped off a bunch of buses of people just in Newburgh, and it ruined Newburgh.
Yeah.
Oh, you're from Orange County?
Yeah.
Are you really proud of OCC?
Yeah, absolutely.
I love that.
And Action Park, that's not even in Orange County, but that's a very Orange County place.
Oh, that's hell yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, because they a bunch of them were also sent out to Long Island. So they were.
What were they told? Were they like, get in or we'll kill you? Like what? Like how did?
I don't know. Maybe
It might have been one
So
of the things that
curious.
LA did. Like LA during the pandemic, it's funny because we had the pandemic was so awful for LA, and the mayor and the city council
It must have
are
been terrible with those
big-
backyards you could hang out in.
Yeah,
Fucking asshole.
yeah, I mean, like, truly, for the people that were, no, you're not wrong
Just kidding.
about. No, I know you were, but it was weird because that's true, but then also the city like destroyed itself with homelessness more than it ever had before. Also, for the record. Fuck you.
For the record, before we started podcasting, Dave was talking for 20 minutes about how much he hates homeless people.
Yeah.
And thinks they're lower than dirt.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, it's a little extreme.
And right before we started recording, I was like, hold on, let me put away my stack of 20s.
Just walk around.
He's doing the money phone like it's
yeah.
2010. Like he's a rapper on Instagram in 2010.
Yeah, not to get on a soapbox, but like it created a lot of homeless people. That happened in a lot of places, but what was particularly wild in LA was partially what you're saying. Like the city has so much fucking space.
Yeah.
And also like people care, and we had a quote unquote liberal mayor. So you would have thought we elected Mayor Eric Garcetti got elected because he was like, hey, let's have some bike lanes. And everyone was like, all right, bike lanes.
Yeah.
And we elect him. Pandemic, and then 60,000 homeless people, and it turns out bike lanes were the thing that he was good at. But I brought this up for a fucking reason, and I forgot what it was.
We're talking about busing homeless people.
Oh yeah. So one of the cool things that Garcetti did was he one day he announced along with the LAPD that there would be free showers. Free outdoor showers for anyone who needs them at these particular locations. And it was like they had a bunch of what were basically semi-tractor trailers, but the bed, instead of like the trailer, it was a bed with a bunch of portable showers on them and like sinks and stuff. And then they had like other stuff they would give out and like mutual aid and shit like that. And so they did this all around the city, and thousands of people showed up. And while they were doing that, the cops swept all those people's camps.
Motherfuckers.
And it's like so now you're just are the Gestapo.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
you just
yeah,
are.
yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah.
And it's like that. It's like these people just do. I think that I guess my point is you might not be wrong at all. They might have just been like, gun to your head, get the fuck in the bus.
Yeah.
And then we're going to drop you off in Ronkonkoma or wherever they took you.
Yeah.
Well, they do the thing with the guns in the pocket of the jacket. They're like, hey, why don't you really get on this bus quickly?
I think they're more
we're
like,
issuing every NYPD officer a Butterfinger.
they're like, oh my God, this bus seems like it's full of ham sandwiches. One on every seat.
Oh, that's so funny.
It's like wrapped up in like wax paper on the seat. And they're like,
But the bus is covered in like cardboard where it just looks like it just has restaurant spray painted on it.
Yeah.
It's all seats. This restaurant is all seats.
I mean, since we've been, because I traveled a lot when I was young, like around the country when I was in bands and stuff.
He was in the military as a
I was in the military.
Military band.
His dad was in the
Yeah.
military. He was in the military.
Yeah,
When I was in bands.
I played the fife.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot that you're 190 years
yeah.
old. Yeah.
Well, I just think that the
Micah Brucey was a Civil War boy.
I just think we had the right to secede. That's the side I'm on.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. But when we started like doing the road like in like the end of 2021 and then a lot more this year, you're like, oh, every single city has a gigantic homeless problem now.
Oh, dude, it's crazy.
And
everywhere it got bad.
And some of them are like when we were in Portland, we were like, oh, it's everywhere. And then when we were in like San Diego, we're like, oh, it's in this 6-block radius.
Right. Well, that's for an obvious reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was like wild. And then like when I was in LA last year, I stayed downtown.
Yeah, I mean,
and then I was like, holy fucking
dude,
shit.
LA. I mean, that's the thing is that like, I don't know. It's like a weird thing to even compare on. But I do, as far as all the places I've gone, LA feels like it's the worst. And again, it doesn't matter because what's the worst even?
Yeah.
But I would like places where there were always homeless people around, which is already shitty. That already sucks.
Yeah.
But there are like all around there would be little pockets of like 5 to 20 people, 1 to 6 tents.
Yeah.
And then it went from that to just like walking through tent camps everywhere on every street.
Yeah.
And Hollywood, downtown got really bad. Hollywood got really bad. Echo Park, it was crazy. And then there's like video that you can see of LAPD raiding Echo Park Lake.
Yeah.
And then they just put a fence up around the fucking lake. And it's like, so is your solution to people having nowhere to live is literally to have nowhere for them to lay down?
Yeah.
Like
This video of LAPD pushing around a giant vacuum that has the Darth Vader logo on it. Sucking up all the fucking...
Totally. Like, it's funny, too, because it's obvious, like, it's still a problem. You know, there's violence in there and it like fucks the city up. But they do have to go to a place. They are people, you know? We got to figure this out, man.
It's like it's a 2-tier like thing with homelessness where it's like, okay, there's a percentage that will never not be homeless. There's a percentage of people that they just can't.
Right.
It's a small number, and there's a bigger number of people that like just are having a hard time and can be fixed. And because of this small number, the people that have the power to fix it are like, we can't do anything because there's a small number that we have to do.
I think that's why the pandemic, like just straight up, I don't know, for lack of a better term, radicalized me. I hate that word even, but it just made me so much more angry at the government.
Like
yeah, radicalized me, dude. Yeah, dude.
Yeah, I'm alt-right now.
Alt-righteous.
Name of the episode.
Yeah, dude. There's a picture of Trump on my surfboard. No, really, like I was already so mad, and then, but it's sort of like, especially the older you get. If you're angry at the government, there's a certain degree where you're like, okay, but yes, like things take time. And I always had that in my brain. And then that happened. And for there to just be a pandemic and now there's 10 times the people without homes, it's like, okay, well, nothing happened at all. So now there's just now it just is the government's fault.
Yeah.
Fuck them completely.
Yeah, but it was also like, oh, you guys didn't even want to help people that were in homes.
Yeah.
So like, why the fuck would you ever care about these people that you see as even that they see as even less?
It was so funny, wasn't it? Because it was everything that I always thought was probably the case was then just validated completely.
Absolutely.
In that entire the biggest one is almost like the rent freezes. The discussion in Los Angeles was all rent freeze. We don't have to pay rent. And I remember being like, yeah, you guys that are like super lefty liberal who are all fucking up your ass about how landlords are pieces of shit. Like I agree with you on the like corporate end, but also there's plenty of landlords in my neighborhood that are just like a 70-year-old Armenian guy who owns one fucking building.
Yeah.
And doesn't really pay that much more taxes or make much more money than you do.
Yeah.
And why don't we go after the banks that they have to pay?
Yeah.
And there's an obvious answer to that question, which is that the people that could make that decision get money from those banks.
Right.
Yeah.
And when that was like made to be true, it's like, oh my God, it's just all true.
Yeah.
God damn it.
There's no Santa Claus. There's no Tooth Fairy.
Totally. And I like
the
knew it,
banks
but
are
I didn't
getting away
know
with
it.
it.
Yeah, and they're like, let's make the poor people mad at the less poor
I
people,
know, Yeah, that's what it
and so they
is.
don't see what's actually happening. But because we had our old apartment, we had our landlord just lived. She was a 85-year-old Dominican woman who just lived underneath us.
Yeah.
and we hated her, but
and
for
she's
personal reasons.
She was like mean.
She was really mean.
Yeah.
She locked me on the roof once.
One time she locked Diego on the roof.
That's pretty funny though.
And then she kicked us out of our apartment. And then after she kicked us out, she was like, "Hey, before you move out, can you just carry the stove downstairs?"
Wow.
I'm like, "What?" She goes, "I'm getting a new one." I'm like, "We've been living here with a shitty stove the whole time."
I lived in that apartment for 8 years, and I never got a new stove.
Wow.
Yeah. So when people, our friends were like, "I'm not fucking paying rent. Fuck that corporation. Fuck that." I'm like, "Yeah, I get it, but we have one old woman on our
Yeah,
totally.
it seems like she depends on us.
Exactly.
Even though I dislike her, I don't want her to die because of me.
Yeah, and she
Right.
also would come up every week and be like, "So I'm raising the rent," and we're like, "None of us have jobs right now. What are you
Dude.
talking about?"
There literally was an old. Oh, sorry.
Oh no.
The back of my apartment building jutted up against the back of another apartment building that was on another street. I think it was actually sort of a long walk to get there, but our back like railings on our balconies almost touched.
You guys went like ass to ass,
and I would kiss the building with my tongue out. I don't know if you've ever done that kind of kiss, but it's better.
a tongue forward kissing.
Yeah,
Requiem
totally.
for a condo.
Yeah, yes, it's called sex, and
Oh.
yeah, it's called anal sex. But
I've heard about this stuff.
Yeah, not me. Never done it. I just like to think about it in my apartment. Anyway,
I like to watch YouTube videos.
Yeah, me too. I like to watch YouTube videos on this other YouTube. There's another YouTube. Have you guys seen this?
No.
Man, there's different types of videos on there.
Sick.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's called rotten.com.
I'll boot up my PC.
yeah, dude. I have an AOL CD in my bag. You can have it. So my building was like backing up against this other building, and there was legitimately this older Armenian guy who lived back there that was so kind and nice and did not speak English very well, but he was like, we met because the day I moved in, I was back there smoking a cigarette, and he was like, "How much you pay there?" And I was like, "Oh, I just moved in." And he was like, "What's your rent? How much you pay?" And I was like, "It's a 2-bedroom, 2-bath. We pay $2,100." And he was like, 2-bedroom, 2-bath in here, $1,800. And I was like, "I just moved in today." And he was like, "I'm just saying."
This is the
and I was
hardest
like,
pitch you've ever done. I respect your balls to try.
Oh, that's so
Like, oh shit! All right, let me come over right now.
Can I just throw all my shit over the fence?
Yeah, dude.
Fuck it, man.
He's so sick of it work that way.
And he was, he
They
was
keep
like,
going back. You move your stuff across the lot, and your old landlord's like, "Okay,
Hey.
17.5." You move your stuff
all
over.
right, yeah. I just keep the same truck. And then I lived in that place for 6 years, and he had like a small, like 4-unit building, and you'd come out, and it was like hard to talk because of the language barrier. But he would always be like, "What's up with you?" And I would have to, like, I was like, "I'm a comedian." He was like, "A comedian? So what is that?" And I perform and I tell jokes, like that kind
There's
of.
no comedy in Armenia. We're just angry and sad.
I wonder why, but I do remember it not being clear what a comedian was.
He's Armenian.
Because he's like, "Oh, so you're like a clown," and you're like
an idiot. You're like a fucking idiot.
Yeah,
and
so you're like a fool.
A professional
for the king.
Yeah.
You dance for the king.
Yeah. Oh, and if you're not good, he kills you. So you must be pretty good because you're alive.
You put tea in little glass cups in the afternoon, and then you do jokes.
Oh yeah. So wait, yeah, you have three little cups and one ball, and you move it around a table.
Yeah. So you also test his food to see if it's poison. Is that what you do?
Yeah. So he. But yeah, we like sort of got to know each other slowly over just smoking at the same time back there, and like his wife would walk by, and it's funny, I never spoke to her. She would just walk by and smile and smile very brightly and wave, this tiny woman. And then they started coming to my comedy show in LA, and they never laughed. They would just smile. And it makes sense. They didn't really speak English very well, but that's how cool and supportive they were. They would stand back there and he would always be like, "How was your show?" And I would be like, "Oh, it's great, man. You should come. We love seeing you." And then in the pandemic, we saw each other more, obviously, and I found out he's a Trump supporter.
Yeah.
And that sucks. That blows.
Yeah.
But my buddy Caleb Sinan, I don't know if you know him.
Caleb.
He's great. He pointed out to me, he was like, you know what, man? If I, for example, emigrated to China and there was a guy running for president of China that was like, China fucking rules, I would be like, I should vote for him.
Yeah,
And I was like,
yeah.
that's a good
good
point,
point.
actually.
Yeah, it's a good
Yeah.
point.
So, but he's also, a business owner and older, and so it's sort of it makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then we were talking one day, and I found out two things. He decided to he started hating Trump because he found out that Trump doesn't believe in the Armenian genocide, which is a really
Yeah.
funny
That's
reason.
yeah. Amazing.
And then he told me, we were talking about how Eric Garcetti, this was all driving to say this one dumb little thing. We were talking about how Eric Garcetti was nominated by Biden to be the ambassador to India. I don't know if you knew that.
No.
And so there was a time where we thought that was going to happen. And I was like, did you hear that Garcetti is going to be the ambassador to India? And this fucking 70-year-old Armenian guy goes, oh, yeah, it's a perfect job for him. Everyone there's already homeless.
Oh.
And I was like, holy shit. Whoa. That is like
Can
the
I
most.
have that? Are you going to use that?
That was literally, I was like, I'm trying to explain to him, like, that's better at my job
Yeah,
than
yeah.
everyone who does
Yeah.
my job. Yeah.
You just start taking him on stage. Hold on, watch this shit. Give him a topic.
Dude.
He's so
Crazy.
Armenian. He's like, I started to hate Trump because he does not like System of a Down. I loved him for so long, but he doesn't realize the toxicity
Of
is
our
a
city.
classic.
Talk about the real toxicity of our city.
Yeah.
Eric Garcetti.
That's so funny to think, too. What's been up with you? I've been eating seeds as a pastime activity. And
Oh,
wow.
okay, interesting.
The System of a Down really gets their
So
stuff from
sick.
real life.
Yeah, absolutely. You're right. Hey, you got to write what you know.
Yeah, and there is always that like older immigrant mindset where they're like, oh, I moved to America and it gave me this better life. So whatever
Yes,
candidate
exactly.
loves America the most, I have to love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, Trump seems like the most American guy in the world. He's a big fat liar. That's fucking awesome.
Yeah, totally. Right.
I love him too.
Right. Everything America rules.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But that reminded me, like, when your parents came and saw us do stand-up, them just sitting there being like, look how much people love my son.
Yeah.
That's it. I
That's
don't
all they
understand a
care.
word that's being said here.
So that's the other thing. I think even if there weren't a language barrier, they wouldn't have laughed. Because,
Yeah, absolutely.
all of us are, there's a lot of people that we know that are very good at comedy, but even then, a lot of us are those people are just like,
Yeah.
For sure.
We're good in context.
yes,
Yes.
absolutely.
You really had to have had a 90s upbringing and been on the internet too much
Yeah.
Yeah.
and be a huge little filthy pervert.
I don't have to talk about Goatsy
Yeah.
to know that if you've seen it, you'll understand what I'm saying.
Right. That's perfect. That's our audience.
Yeah. Goatsy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The man,
Goatsy
the
and
myth, the
Mr.
legend.
Hands. Is there a Mrs. Hands?
That's my Statler and Waldorf is
Oh,
Goatsy and
Goatsy.
Mr. Hands
They're just up there
together on the
being
fucking balcony.
I like to
Awful.
describe what I do as 2 stand-up comedy, 1 cup.
There you go.
It's hard to watch, but if you like
But
it,
it does-
you really like it.
Yeah.
You can't get it out of your head.
It's absolutely horrible, but everyone knows about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I want out of my stand-up comedy career.
Honestly, that's how a lot of successful comedians can be thought of.
They're like, have you
Yes.
seen Mike's special? It'll make you puke.
Yeah. You won't want to watch it,
No.
but you can't stop.
It's a challenge to finish it. I'll say.
That is true.
Like, you want to grab that?
Do I want to grab that?
Yeah.
I guess I do.
Yeah, why don't you grab that for
Why
us?
don't you fucking kick us off then?
Kick us off what? Hey, everybody. So we have a segment on the podcast.
Oh, I'll do a segment.
Yeah.
Do you drink water? Is that what it is?
Basically.
Wow.
Welcome to the Energy Drink Corner, everybody.
boy.
Hi. We do a new. We taste an every drink every episode.
Oh, cool.
It's an albatross around our necks.
This is like what I was talking about being Trump living in a bit that you're stuck
Yeah,
in
we're
for the
stuck
rest
in
of
this
your
bit.
life.
Yeah.
We did
Wow.
like 200 energy drinks. We can't
Oh my
stop.
God.
This week we're doing Runa. We've done one of these before.
I hope so.
Different flavor.
I hope so.
This is tropical passion fruit to sparkling brewed clean energy. This is that fucking
Energy seltzer.
yeah. I think it's energy seltzer.
You know what's funny is that like I appreciate any segment. Shows need segments. You know?
You
Yeah.
need it.
But so I didn't understand what you meant right away when this is the albatross around your neck, but 10 seconds in, I totally get it.
Yeah, yeah. Imagine doing this 200 times, and this isn't even close to the worst looking.
You guys
one you've done.
you guys can't stop shitting weird, huh? I'm guessing.
Yeah, and also this doesn't help. Runa, clean energy, 30 calories. And there's a poem. Any writing on an energy drink can is considered a poem to us.
Oh, okay.
In our world.
Great.
Runa's natural caffeine comes from the guayasa. Oh, it even tells you how to pronounce it.
That's fun.
Leaf.
Because they know only a bunch of white
Like
motherfuckers
idiots.
are going to be drinking this can.
This Amazonian super leaf helps deliver sustained energy and focus.
Nice.
More caffeine than 2 espressos, plant-based antioxidants, no crash or jitters, no artificial sweeteners or colors. Fantastic.
Do you think that
150
leaf is like
milligrams.
one of those things where like there's like a story about like some guys who live in the Amazon? They're like they just chew on it and run up a mountain and run back down, and that's all they need.
It's pretty sick. I'll give you a little. Oh, that's a really
that's
awful
way,
color.
That's way more diarrhea
It looks
color.
like Coke.
Yeah, it almost looks like it looks like when
Crazy. I've
if
never
you've been
seen an
that's
energy
when-
drink look like that.
Me neither.
Oh, God.
It looks like imagine you're in a coma.
You can
this.
take as small of a sip as you want.
I'm
It's your-
going to.
It's
so
your
I don't.
first piss after waking up from a coma.
Okay, I took a. I'll talk while you guys sip. I took a sniff, and it's way nicer smelling than I
Oh.
thought it would be.
Yeah,
Is this like tea?
yeah, it feels tea-ish.
Oh, that's not bad.
It's not bad at all.
Not bad at all. It tastes like tea.
Interesting.
Yeah, it doesn't have that.
This seems like a drink that if I was at like a really healthy hot woman's house and she was like, "I got this for you," I was like, "I love this." Whatever you say. yeah, I'm
yeah.
drinking this
Name
for
some
you.
really healthy hot women. We'll wait.
Martha Stewart.
Yeah, hell
number
yeah.
1.
this
Damn it! I wish you're.
Melania Trump.
There you go.
Gal Gadot.
Ooh. and I support whatever these women say.
Dude, I'm such an idiot. Because of the alliteration, the other day I was talking about Frances Ha, and I'm like, oh, Gal Gadot directed that, not Greta Gerwig. And they're like, really? I'm like, I think so.
Oh,
She
yeah.
started it too. Fucking idiot.
Gal Gadot, Frances Ha.
Okay, I thought this was going to be way worse.
I thought this was going to be really bad.
The color is really
It
off-putting.
is good.
You're going to want to drink this out of the can.
Yeah, I put it down just because I don't want to
Yeah.
shit everywhere
That's fine.
right now.
Thank you for not being your cat in our apartment.
Yeah, no, hey, no problem.
But
Anytime.
yeah, I thought it was gonna be. I thought it was gonna be that type of like green tea extract dryness on the tongue that we usually get.
We know so much about
It's
energy
pretty good.
drinks now.
Yeah.
It's
I
not
honestly was
bad.
really
How
surprised.
often are you drinking energy drinks? What's your go-to?
I mean, the only one I never drink energy drinks. I love coffee, so I'll just always drink coffee if I need some energy. But I've had the basics. I've had Red Bull and I've had Rockstar,
Okay.
and I hate those. So I
Yeah.
just like wrote them all off. I don't-
Rockstar is one of the worst.
Oh, and Monster is the other one
drinks.
I've had.
Yeah.
Oh my god, dude! Oh man, did either of you ever get to do stand up on Warped Tour?
no.
Any of the dates?
No.
Okay. They would occasionally like over the years have a comedian on this or that, but in 2015 they had a comedy tent the entire tour.
Yeah.
And I was on it for 2 weeks.
Congratulations,
And
man.
Thank you. It was super fun
Yeah.
and like a bucket list kind of thing.
Yeah.
But it was also horrible. The shows
Yeah.
were just awful. And I was saying off mic that I'm buddies with that band Pup. That's where I met them. They were on that
okay,
year
okay,
too.
yeah.
And and truly, like I can't even tell you, the comedy shows were horrible.
Sure, I
There
can
were-
imagine.
It was a tent. No one cared.
Outside in the day,
Hot as fuck.
hottest
And
every
I-
obstacle to comedy
Just
possible.
teenagers who want to see the red jumpsuit apparatus.
Yes. And 5 of the 13 dates I was on were in Florida in the summer.
Yeah.
It fucking sucked ass.
Oh.
I mean, I will say though, yeah, the experience was crazy. I'm like sleeping in a tour bus, which is a dream come true.
Yeah.
And you like wake up and you're in this massive amphitheater that has like all these like offices and, shower spaces and
And
whatever.
you're not performing at. You're
Exactly.
just being a beautiful
course.
stage.
That's
like,
what the funniest thing about the Warped Tour was, where they were like, "We're at this arena in the parking
Yes,
lot."
exactly.
Yeah.
Totally. But I was hanging out. I remember we were in Charlotte, North Carolina, and I was hanging out in Pup's merch tent, and there was this band called New Year's Day. I don't know if you know them, but they're honestly like a pop rock band, but they look like Cradle of Filth.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they dress like they're super corpse paint, but it's just operatic fucking rock and roll.
Oh, it's like that band
And,
Ghost.
I don't
they-
know Ghost.
Okay, they look like they're gonna. It's like a guy has a bunch of face paint. He looks like a corpse paint pope, but
Yeah.
then he just sings like he's in on fucking The Music Man or
Yes.
something, you know?
There's a lot of that lately. There's a lot of like, sort of like I don't understand what's going on at all, you know. But so this band New Year's Day, for whatever reason, they were doing a record signing or a something signing, and you know, at those big festivals, every band has a tent, as a merch tent, and
Is that Ghost?
On the right.
Oh, okay.
oh wow,
Sick.
that's crazy looking.
Yeah, and then they just kind of sound like fucking The Darkness or the,
Right,
not even.
right, yeah. So you know, it's just like a long row of merch tents of every band.
Yeah.
And New Year's Day's fans lined up in front of all of the other bands' merch tent. So the whole line was blocking every band's merch tent at Warped Tour.
Jesus.
And it was just like, what the fuck, guys? Are you kidding? And I was sitting in the tent, and these kids are waiting in line to buy another band's stuff. And so we're just like talking shit to them. And
Yeah.
it's mostly just funny. No one's being mean. But the other thing about Warped Tour that year, and maybe every year, is Monster Energy Drink sponsored the tour, and they provided all of the water for the entire
Oh,
tour.
we want one of these cans so bad.
Yeah, dude.
Tour water.
Tour water,
Yeah,
totally.
yeah.
So every day, every band and the comedians were considered a band. We were all given
Goddamn right.
yeah, that's right. We were given a case of tour water in the morning and a case of tour water at night. And so water
How many
all
in a
day.
case?
Oh man, I want to say 60 or some shit like
Oh,
that.
okay,
Like
okay.
yeah, like a ton
So
of
you
them.
had to drink 120 waters a day?
Yeah, I'm probably maybe 30. I'm probably exaggerating, but yes,
Yeah,
it was a lot.
Okay, I'm
And,
like, was it 12 or is it 30?
yeah, it was a lot. It was more than enough
God,
for sure.
yeah. Good.
And so they have a bunch of tour waters in there, and we're like yelling at these kids, like, buy a fucking Pup album, and they're like, shut up, we're waiting. And we're like, fuck you, you're in front of our tent, buy some shit or get out of the fucking way. And this kid goes, I'll buy a Pup CD if you give me one of those monsters. And I was like, oh, sorry, dude, that's just water. They provide the water for the tour.
Yeah.
And he goes, what? That's fucked up, dude. And then one of the dudes in the van goes, what the fuck, man? Monster sucks anyway. And then the guy goes, holy shit, dude. You'll get your ass beat for saying shit like that around here. And then another kid comes up behind him and goes, what do you fucking say? And the guy goes, he's talking shit about Monster. And the guy goes, whoa, can't say shit like that around here. And we were just like, what is happening,
You mean
dude?
Florida in general?
This is in North Carolina.
Oh, my God.
And we were just like, fucking, you're all in a Monster Energy drink gang, you fucking
Jesus
losers.
Christ.
There's a kid who I'm obsessed with. Let me find a picture of him. His name is Monster Energy.
There's a lot of kids Mike's obsessed with.
Yeah. They're just-
Children.
yeah. It's just that this one kid is really sexy.
And I just hope that in
Huh.
that argument, all those guys be like, what the fuck did you say? They all have like biker gang vests with big monster patches on it, 1% monster patches.
Don't talk shit about this brand.
Watch your mouth about the green M, bro.
Yeah, they're getting a fist fight with the Coca-Cola gang.
Yeah.
Which conglomerate makes Monster, by the way? I
believe
think
it's
it is Coca-Cola,
It's
yeah.
Coca-Cola. Yeah, this kid got the monster logo tattooed on his chest.
Oh, dude, what a dipshit.
Yeah, really big.
A big Monster logo on your chest.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
But what's even better to me is that it says Monster Energy underneath it.
Yeah.
Like the whole can graphic.
Yeah,
Not
like-
just the logo.
Right.
It's really like he might as well got the T in a circle on it too,
Yeah.
like the trademark logo.
Yeah,
All
totally.
of it. The net weight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
16.9 ounce OZ. You're a fucking loser.
Yeah, what a fucking...
Yeah, there was like an interview. I guess because he got interviewed by that skate blog Jenkum. So I think he's just like a kid who would just like be at skate parks, and they're like, we got to see what's up with this fucking kid.
Yeah. But then the thing with that, to me, and I understand why, it's like, don't give them attention. It's what they want.
Yeah.
They're just doing something
Yeah.
stupid. And while there's like another kid who's very talented
Yeah.
and deserving of attention, but I know
Yeah,
Jacob's
yeah.
not that. It's
yeah.
a bunch of idiots being idiots or whatever. Fucking
It's like
bunch of stupid adults still doing skateboarding.
Jenkum
You
is like
fucking suck.
Jenkum. No, I like Jenkum.
I'm just kidding. I'm just
It's
trying to
like
annoy you.
it's like the skateboard version of when Vice was cool.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're like, okay, you do some like funny stuff. You're like, let's go to Street League on acid.
Yeah.
Like that thing. But then they're also like, oh, let's do like a deep dive into this one trick.
Yeah.
And it's like done well. And
It's
it
very
doesn't
cool,
matter.
Jenkum. I'm kidding.
Whatever.
Or
I don't know why. I don't know why I
fighting.
don't know why I got so defensive over a
You
thing.
defensive
Yeah,
about a
that's
thing that you
true.
don't care about,
I'm
really?
fucking- like fucking Lawrence Taylor.
You're the kids with the monster fighting. Those are fighting words.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's a
Yeah,
good,
that's true. That did just happen.
yeah, it's a good.
You were
clean-
like, hey.
First of all, I think Monster's a good clean energy that
Oh,
gets you
wow.
through the day.
Hey, if you're in a band and you go on tour and Monster is providing tour water, send us a fucking can of tour water.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's so funny that
It's funny.
that they like have you drink it on stage so it looks like you're drinking.
I know. It's a trick.
Actual
It's such a silly.
Monster.
Like, you can't just provide bottles of water.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it has to be low. I mean, they do it with
Yeah.
fighting where like the fighters have to hold a can of Monster and they'll like they have to. It's like, why would you drink an energy drink after a cage fight?
That's so-
insane.
I like it even better when you can tell
It's
it's
abusive,
completely
dude.
empty
Yeah, it's
and
completely.
they're just holding it. Yeah,
Just hands are shaking because they broke their hand punching a man in the head.
yeah.
A nice Monster energy drink after I smashed my knuckles.
Yeah. Well, the funny thing, there's a little bit of controversy is the right word, but like last year,
Say it's controversy,
It's
so it kind of-
controversial.
you know.
The guy who runs Monsters like social media, like who decides who gets sponsored, is this guy Hans something. He's a big fan of MMA, and he like hangs out with a lot of MMA fighters, and he trains. And like Dominic Cruz during who's a fighter in a post-fight interview talks about how like this guy Hans is like kind of blackmailing all the fighters into like posting him and like sharing his stuff so he gets clout.
Blackmailing.
Be like, if you don't share my stuff, you're not going to get a sponsorship from Monster.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
So everyone's
dude.
like, oh, is this why him and Daniel Cormier are always like hanging out? And like he has a long going bit where like if you're drinking or eating something near him, he'll kick it out of your hand. And
'Cause
it's like,
not
Because it's
Monster.
not Monster.
yeah,
Wow.
and it's just like a really
Man.
funny like of how monster of a monster situation.
Yeah. Wow. Man, if I've ever heard a way to be cool, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just a way to really make friends.
Share
if what
my
you want
stuff.
is friends.
Absolutely.
He's doing payola, but for friendship.
yeah.
Yeah, man.
And he's like sparring with like
That's right.
professional fighters and like doing well. It's like, yeah, okay, fucking all right.
Anytime I'm with somebody who's holding another comedian's album, I smack that right out of their fucking
Get the
hand.
fuck out of here.
Get my album in your hands.
Absolutely.
You know?
You look at someone's phone on their train and they're listening to like Mark Maron's podcast, and you just
Get
and you
the fuck
fucking-
outta
you
here.
take the phone and you throw
You
it off the
piece of
train at the
shit.
next stop.
And then I put a Monster in their hand.
Oh wait, fuck! I
Like,
work for that.
drink
Listen
this.
to this.
Yeah.
Put your fucking headphones. Plug your headphones into
That's
this.
right.
You
Somebody
fucking
in their head,
Idiot.
like, ow.
Yeah, man. When you get home, call me on my stack of 20s.
Oh wait, we have to rate the energy drink.
Oh yeah, we got to rate the energy drink. Okay, so we do 1 out of 5 lightning bolts, or 0 actually, 0 out of 5 lightning bolts. 0, you hate it, you'll never drink it. You want to
I
send
give
hate
it
letters.
69.
Yes.
5 meaning you'll search out for it again, even buying it online.
Okay. And 0 means
You hate it, and you hope
Vomit.
everyone they
you
die.
would, you would rather eat the big shit that your cat left on the carpet.
Well, we don't need to.
You'd rather
That
drink
makes it
water.
harder to compare. Yeah.
I'm gonna give it a 3.
Okay.
I think it's a 3.
Yeah, I think I'm going to give it that's a tough ranking system for me because there's no world in which I would ever drink an energy drink before water.
Mhm.
So 2, I'm going to give it a well,
Okay.
no, I'll give it a 3 because
Don't-
it's way better than all energy drinks I've had
Oh,
otherwise.
there you go. There
Yeah.
you go.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go 2.75.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
I think it was better than I expected, but I don't want to finish it.
I do want another sip of it.
You can have that.
actually.
Yeah, go ahead.
Thanks so much, man.
Runa,
Yeah, this is the
RUNA.
first time in my life I've imagined what .75 lightning bolts looked like.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's just the one curve.
Yeah,
It's
totally. Just a little bit after. Yeah. Man.
I'm looking at it say no crash or jitters, and then I slowly start gripping
Yeah.
the can really hard. Like, it doesn't affect me at all.
Yeah.
That actually, damn it!
And drank a whole can of this, and I
Yeah.
immediately joined Hair Club.
I'm opening for Jeremy Piven actually.
That's
Oh.
nice.
Yeah.
Have you watched any movies lately you want to talk about? We do a movie pass corner sometimes.
Oh, hell yeah.
We
dude.
usually don't do a guest, but we had a guest last time. We haven't talked about movies in a while. So if you watched anything lately you want to talk about,
I
Non-pornographic.
absolutely do. And non-pornographic.
damn
no.
it. I pull the mic out.
Snap it over my knee like I'm fucking Barry Bonds.
I haven't seen a non-pornographic movie in 30 years. And I'm 40, for the record.
You just didn't watch any movies at all between 10 and 18 because that's when you can legally watch porn.
Yeah, exactly. And then, exactly.
Yeah.
Right. And I've never broken the law.
No.
Never once. So yeah, I have movies I want to talk about, but you know what's interesting is that like I for some reason have become someone who has really passionate feelings about movies in the past few years.
Sick.
Yeah.
And I never did. Like
Same.
when I see a movie, and it's because of a specific thing, I think. It's because now, like, there are 2 movies that I've seen in the past 5 years that I hated so much that I got angry at them. And they're The Green Knight and The Menu. And and the reason I've like come to this, it's because we're now at a place where movies have existed so long that people who are music nerds and like I'm sorry, movie nerds and like art film nerds can have a lot of money and go to school and have a lot of know-how about making movies and have everything at their disposal except for the feel for it.
Yeah.
Which is also fine. I don't judge someone for like not being an artiste or whatever, but there are some people that make movies who think they're fucking better than you for being an artist.
Yeah.
And that's how I felt when I saw The Green Knight. It felt like they were making choices purposely to be art that didn't make any fucking sense. And a lot of people who watch it, I think, are like, I didn't get that. Well, I guess I'm stupid.
Yeah.
And I felt the same way about The Menu. Like The Menu, I saw it with Ismail Lutfi, and we were like, I went it being told by numerous friends of mine that it was their favorite movie they saw all year.
Whoa.
So fuck me, you know. But it was just this thing that it had a message, and the message was like, you know, fuck the rich, basically. And
yeah.
It's so funny to me when movies do that. It's like, hey, you're being supported by a giant network of rich people.
it's also like a basic ass fucking statement.
Yeah.
If you're gonna make the statement, you can't be that direct. We've all smoked weed now.
Yeah,
we
yeah.
like have thought about it, bro. Whereas
It's a
like
baby in a gas mask. Ooh.
Yeah. Exactly.
Shut the fuck up, Banksy,
Yeah.
you child.
Exactly.
Fucking
Banksy
loser.
now. Exactly. If Banksy were happening now, I would be like, shut the
Yeah.
fuck up,
Yeah,
dude.
yeah.
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
Whereas I saw Triangle of Sadness, which was perfect. Perfect movie.
I gotta see it.
I
Interesting.
loved it.
Because I feel the way that you feel about The Menu, I felt about Triangle of Sadness.
Oh, really?
When I was like bit on the nose, a bit just being like here's the point for 2 hours is what the whole
that's
movie felt
interesting.
like to me.
I could see what you mean based solely on, I think the movie could have dealt with removing Woody Harrelson from it.
Yeah.
And I think he's great, but him just saying he's a socialist and that argument between him and the Russian, I think was a little over the top. But I actually thought that the whole rest of it was like, the fact that it ended with like a matriarchy that went psychotic was like much more interesting than just...
Yeah, but I didn't. I should say that I didn't hate it.
Okay.
I thought it was fine. Like I liked. I was,
Oh man, I loved it. I just...
Yeah, I watched it and I was like, I'm glad I watched this. I'll never watch a second of it ever again in my life. It was just fine.
Oh, I will
Letterboxd?
totally rewatch. What's that?
Do you have Letterboxd?
I don't, and I should get it.
Yeah, it's
I like
fun.
it. Seems cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
The other movie I saw that I loved. I mean, the other thing about, by the way, Triangle of Sadness is that
This podcast right now.
I
you know what I'm saying?
yeah. Hey, yeah, man. That was really funny. Yeah, that caught me off guard a little. I was literally about to put my hand in here, you know. Yeah. I just personally love the way that guy makes movies, and So Force Majeure is fucking incredible. Have you seen that
I haven't
movie?
seen Force Majeure.
Force Majeure was his first like movie that like really fully made it to America and like the general international scene, I think. And it's incredible. It's this really simple movie about cowardice, and you don't really see people make movies about that.
Yeah.
This is a spoiler. Actually, you should just see it. You should watch it.
I'll
Yeah,
watch it.
you'll watch it.
Make sure you watch the one with Will Ferrell and Julia Louis.
Do not watch that one.
Oh, the
Yeah.
one about the ski. Okay.
Yeah.
I saw a video
So
about
the-
how Americans ruin movies that are
Yeah,
made.
yeah.
And that was the prime.
Because
It is so funny that they did that.
and it was so funny because that was like they were like, well, this movie came out 2 years ago. Let's remake it in America.
So
Like,
Come
one of
on,
those.
man. Just let people watch a movie with subtitles.
No,
what the
they
fuck,
can't do
dude?
it. They fucking can't. I mean, that is one of the funniest stories to me. I just think about it all the time. It was during the pandemic. Diego and I were watching movies just like every single night together.
Yeah.
And then we were sitting there, and he was like, "Oh, let's watch Police Story with Jackie Chan." And then it starts, and it immediately has subtitles. He goes, "I'm not reading tonight." And
I am not in a
he
reading
was
mood.
like,
Well-
"I'm choosing the movie. It's this one." And I was like, "Awesome! I want to watch Police Story." And then immediately he was like, "I'm not doing homework."
That I also fully understand.
Yeah.
You know,
My brain completely broke during the pandemic.
Dude, also, yeah, it's true. Sometimes you're not reading tonight.
I'm not reading
Yeah.
tonight.
I'm not fucking reading tonight,
I'm in the
man.
mood for it.
Yeah, his next movie, The Square, is like a little much for me. Did you see that movie?
No, I don't think
It's
so.
wild.
What's
you
his
should.
guy's name?
What is his fucking
I'll look.
name?
Don't worry. If you don't know off the top of my head, I'll
It's the Swedish Chef from the Muppets. It's him.
But my favorite movie that I've seen in fucking years that I just saw is Banshees of Inisherin. Banshees of
Oh.
Inisherin
yeah.
fucking
We love
rips.
that.
We watched it together,
Dude.
just being like, "That's
It's
not us at all.
sick.
That's not how we act at all, even a little." Neither of us see the stripes of each other in these characters.
Wait, what did he have? He directed Mansion?
No, so separately.
No.
Separate. Okay.
I thought of saying I love that guy's shit because I also love Martin McDonagh's shit.
Yes, yes,
And I hated Three Billboards. That was actually the first movie that made me feel viscerally angry that it was made.
Yeah,
And
we saw that in like a huge group. It
Yeah.
was like,
was everyone just disappointed?
yeah, because it was
Yeah.
like us. It was like us and Nick Nanny and Claire O'Kane, and there's like all these
Yeah.
people who like love movies
And probably loved In Bruges, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Like one of the
absolutely.
best
Yeah, like
movies
we were
ever
all
made.
like excited to go
Yeah.
see it, and then it was just fucking.
It's
Wow.
dog shit. It is interesting, right? Like literally, that's the best example of write what you know I've ever seen.
Oh,
he just got
yeah.
America so wrong, dude. And he was trying to like Coen Brothers us or
Yes.
something.
Yes.
Yeah, he was trying to like ham it
But,
up.
like, you know when,
Yeah.
when Kevin Smith made that porn movie? The
No.
movie with
Oh.
Seth Rogen.
Oh, I
and-
never saw it.
Zack
Zack
and
and
Miri
Miri.
Make a
make a
porno?
porno. He
And,
was
like-
trying to make a Judd Apatow movie.
Yeah. I'm like, oh, what the fuck is happening right now?
Yeah,
It's
totally.
so blatant. It's insane that no one stopped him.
Everyone acts insane. Hell yeah, Chuck. Meow it up, dude.
Shut up.
But I speaking of Martin McDonagh, we watched Banshees in Inisherin. I rewatched The Lobster, which I haven't seen since I saw in theaters.
Wait, that's not a Martin McDonagh.
No,
movie.
but-
Oh, okay.
But
okay.
Colin Farrell.
it's called
Oh, okay,
Farrell.
okay.
It's a Yorgos Lanthimos. And
That's right.
I loved it even more than the
Dude,
first time.
it's-
I liked it the first time a lot.
Oh, that's so funny. I could not stand The Lobster.
Oh, my
really?
God.
And it's like for a, it's actually, this is, I think, a thing that that is like a personal thing for me. That I think it's a personal hang up because I felt the same way about The Lobster that I did about Idiocracy, where like watching them both, I was like, this is great. And it's like well written, it's well shot, it's a great concept that I fully understand. But the concept of The Lobster and Idiocracy, what they have in common is it's a world where people don't know how to talk to each other.
Yeah.
And The Lobster is it's much different. But if the conceit of the movie is that we're so far in the future, that we're so plugged into our phones and shit that literally human beings are so awkward that they can't talk, that's a movie where there's horrible dialogue. And like literally the dialogue is so stilted in the movie that 30 minutes in, I was like, I cannot watch this movie anymore. Even though I basically agree that it's beautiful.
Yeah. That's kind of how I feel about Curb.
Oh, sure.
Where I'm
Yeah,
like, just learn how to talk to each other.
Dude.
You're just misunderstanding each other
That's
constantly.
funny. That's
Yeah.
so
And
funny.
And also, stop making every episode about how you have to like buy something that costs $60. You're a billionaire. I don't care.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
The Lobster makes me laugh so
Yeah.
hard.
Oh, really?
It made me
It's
laugh
so funny.
so hard. I rewatched it, and it was just there's a scene, the scene where they start kissing, where they're watching her dad play guitar. It's just so unbelievably funny to me. It just kills me.
Two of the times I've laughed hardest in the theaters, at times where I shouldn't have.
Schindler's List.
Yeah. When I saw that list, I was like, "You gotta be fucking kidding me!" It was like I was in the crowd for the "I ain't scared of you, motherfucker"
Yeah.
set. No, but it was so. I saw The Lobster with my best friend Nick. We saw it at like the one like art house movie theater on Long Island because we were there for the day for some reason. But it was just us, and the only people that go there are like retirees,
Yeah.
basically. So it was us and like a bunch of 70-year-old people with white hair, and me and him are just like idiots. He's fucking, stoned to the gills.
Yeah.
And I probably drank 17 Coca-Colas before we got there, and then we're just like,
Yeah, man.
like hitting
Wow.
each other, and then everyone else is like, "This is a very serious art piece about," and I'm like, "Yeah, it's that
It
too."
can be both.
This is
But
making me want to give that movie another shot because a lot of movies are. You know what happened to me once? You know what movie I hate? I hated this movie.
Yes, let's go.
I saw this movie. I hated it so much. I walked out of the theater an hour in, and it was that movie Collateral. And I with Tom
Michael
Cruise
Mann.
and
Michael
Jamie
Mann
Foxx.
movie. The Michael
Totally.
Mann movie, yeah.
Oh, wow.
I hated it for years because I walked out of the theater. And then during the pandemic, I had nothing to watch. You know, we were always I had seen all of TV, so I watched it and I was like, this movie's incredible.
Yeah.
And then I remembered that I had seen that movie I was in the movie on a date with my ex-girlfriend, and we were getting back together, and it did not work. And
it's like getting dumped at a restaurant and leaving a bad Yelp review.
Hating the restaurant.
It has nothing to do.
This Taco Bell gave me heart poisoning. How
Totally.
could they?
Yeah. Yeah, man.
Leaving Ford a terrible review because your parents freaking died that day, and you're like, God damn it, I hate this car.
Man, you know what this reminds me of? It's not related at all, but there was this short-lived show in LA that was fucking terrible at this restaurant called the Capri.
This podcast reminds me of that terrible show.
No,
I also had a bad time there.
Yeah. A list of places where I felt bad with an ex-girlfriend. Here we go. No, I don't know why it made me think of this, but there was this restaurant, and it was owned by two identical twin, very fat Italian old guys.
I love it.
And
love it. Hell yes.
And they
James.
ride matching motorcycles.
And they always wore the same shirt and pants and
hell yes, dude. We gotta keep them in business, guys. Go support this place.
Well, here's the thing about this is that I never went to the restaurant except when I did this terrible show, and the restaurant was one big square room that was probably 4 times the size of this little room we're in, and maybe a little bigger.
A
big square room with a kitchen on the other side. Yeah. And there's like tables all around the side, and they would just put a mic in the corner. It was brightly lit. We would ambush the people eating spaghetti. It was fucking terrible.
Yeah.
But I would only ever be in there for that show, and I did the show maybe 3 times. And
because you can't say no.
yeah, of course not. I really would. Yes, exactly. But I didn't know anything about the restaurant. And I would never be in there for more than an hour. So I was never in the restaurant when both of the guys were in the room. So I didn't know that they were twins. And I was I was in there with Sean Patton, and we were just sitting against the wall talking, and we get served food by one of them, and then the other one comes out of the kitchen, and we grabbed each other like this. We just went, we were like, there's fucking 2.
Shaking.
Yeah. They like stopped and looked at us and just very awkwardly went back to their shit.
No.
Yeah, dude.
They fucking parent trapped you.
Oh my God.
Terrifying, dude.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Do you remember what it's called? The restaurant?
The restaurant was called the Triangle of Sadness.
Hey, there you go. Thank you so much, Dave, for being on the podcast. We end with that. Where can people follow you? Where can they listen to your podcast? Where can they see you on stage?
I'm at Dave to the Ross on everything, DaveTotheRoss.
A must follow.
Oh, thank you. My website's davetotheross.com, and I have a podcast called What's It Called with that dude Caleb Simon I brought up earlier.
It's very funny. I've listened.
It's a lot of fun. Oh, really?
Yeah,
That's cool.
I like both of you. Why would I not listen to your podcast?
Well, that is just nice.
I don't listen to white men's podcasts.
Yeah, me neither.
Caleb, his name is confusing. He was some kind of brown, probably.
I haven't talked to a white man in a long time.
Yeah.
Hey, you still haven't.
Yeah.
I'm Hispanic. He's Italian. Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's links to all that stuff on my website, and you guys are the best. Thank
Beautiful.
you. This
Thank
was
you so
fun.
much.
This was
Fantastic
great.
podcast.
Yeah, this was so much
Thank
fun.
you so much for listening, everybody. Follow Micah Brucey at Micah Brucey.
Follow Diego Lopez at this Diego Lopez.
Patreon.com/A Little Time Pod for 4 bonus episodes a month, plus video of all 8 episodes. And sometimes I'll show you my penis on there.
No.
No, I
you
can't do
won't.
that.